Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Kingshold. And this is the first book in the Wildfire cycle series from writer D.P. Woolliscroft, and I actually met him and got this little note signed by him. And to give a little story before I start talking about the book, I went to a book, like this kind of book fair in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and I actually got to meet this author, and I bought his book, and I got to chat with him a little bit, and I apologize that it literally took 4 years for me to finally get around to your book, but I was not disappointed. And, it's tough when you're dealing with fantasy to make it feel fresh and engaging and interesting. Same to be said in book form as it is in film form and television. And we're just so happen to be in such an interesting time in fantasy with House of the Dragon and the Rings of Power going on HBO and Amazon right now. And this is a story about this Kingdom of Edland. And we have this group of characters. The king is dead, and an election for the new Lord Protector has been called, and dealing with the whole society of Kingshold here. And right off the bat, I really enjoy the characters, and you feel connected to the characters. You spend a lot of time with them over the course of this 480 pages, and I felt like I enjoyed them. I felt connected with them. And step one, it's great to feel connected with your characters when you're reading a story. And I think that, the politics of this, in terms of, this kingdom and stuff like that, are done enough to make it interesting and compelling in that way. You also don't skimp on, fantasy elements with, some interesting, dragon turtles and stuff like that, and all of those, big fantasy elements. Now, this might not be the freshest or the most unique of fantasy novels, but I do think that it really does capture that same kind of spirit that a lot of people loved about Game of Thrones, but also still throwing in some, real fantasy elements. Because, Game of Thrones does focus a lot more on, the interconnecting, tribes and kingdoms and stuff like that. The show does have dragons and zombies in it. But the thing is, it's I did enjoy the fantastical elements of this book, along with the characters, along with the societal things. And it feels relevant. It always is able to incorporate certain things that we understand and can relate to when it comes to government and leadership and those kinds of things. And I do think that this is a good foothold to get started with this series, and I'm definitely interested in checking out what else is waiting for me with the Wildfire cycle. But those are my thoughts on Kingshold. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some books. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.